You ever get frustrated that no matter how much willpower or discipline you muster up, you always slip back into your old ways? For years, I was stuck skinny, fat, unproductive, and frustrated until I discovered the one mistake everybody makes. And once I fixed it, I was finally able to build habits that lasted. I remember as soon as I finished high school, I got my gym membership and I was really excited to finally get some muscle and lose all the fat that I hated so much. And yet, for 2 years straight, I could not hit the gym more than 3 times a month. Some days I'd be motivated, but then the motivation would go away. I was not going to the gym for weeks on end. And I hated myself because I wanted to make a change. I had that desire to change, but I just couldn't figure it out. But then that all changed when I tried to learn how to draw. Like sketchbook, pencil, because I wanted to get good. It's kind of gangster if you know how to draw. And it's so weird because for drawing, I stuck with drawing every single day for 1 year straight. Such a meaningless hobby, right? It's just drawing. It's not something like making money or studying for an exam. But how was I able to make drawing work and not anything else in my life? And once I applied what I did with learning how to draw with every single thing I was trying to do in my life, it all finally started to click. And before I reveal what it is I did, I want to ask you, what even is consistency? Not a trick question, genuinely. Consistency is you do an activity in a predictable pattern, right? So if you go to the gym 6 days a week, then you take a rest, then 6 days a week, take a rest, you're pretty consistent at that. Or if you're drawing every single day, for a year straight, I'd say you're pretty consistent at doing that. That is what consistency is. You're doing an activity over a period of time in a predictable way. So how do you get better at being consistent? I had a really big desire to draw. It was a really, really intense feeling. I wanted to get better at it. I told myself this is a non-negotiable in my life. I am going to do this every single day, no matter what. 30 minutes every single day. I'm going to draw. And that's how I got consistent. I legitimately did the activity every single day, no matter how I felt about it. And I got consistent. Now, I just don't want to sit here and yell at you about consistency, be consistent, do better. I want to give you some practical advice that will actually work and that I use to make myself so consistent. It was actually hard for me to fall off any habit. There's a secret to discipline no one tells you about, and it comes to this quote that I live by. It's a quote that I think is so true and no one talks about it. It's that the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. You'll have those people in your coworker space or your family members. You'll talk to them and you'll see them do certain things. And you'll see they don't do it properly or they do it really well like a perfectionist. And you can just tell that's how they live their life. If they do something perfectly, they are super organized. They love to do everything properly. And if someone is not completing a task properly, you can tell, oh, they are probably the type to come late to a work meeting or to work. They're probably the type to be lazy and not really stick to any habits and think, oh, it's okay. I'll just get better at it tomorrow. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So if you want to be disciplined or you're trying to build that new habit, you got to make sure every single other area of your life is accordingly. You know, the famous saying, if you make your bed, you'll be a millionaire. You won't be, but like you can see through the mirror, like right there. My bed's made. I make my bed properly. I clean my room properly. I clean my shoes properly. I know it's small things that don't really feel like, what? How is me cleaning my shoes related to me going to the gym consistently? But I'm telling you, bro, it's like a rock. If you put, it doesn't matter how strong the rock is, what minerals it's made of, how big it is, how dense it is. If you make one crack in the rock, it's going to spread out and break that rock. If you have a really heavy, thick, nice, solid chain that's strong, but then one link breaks, the chain's going to break. You got to have every single other thing in your life sorted out. Don't give yourself that excuse to slip up, and you're not going to slip up. And then when you go to try and build that new habit of going to the gym, drawing, or studying for that exam, or trying to work on something like your career or business, whatever the thing may be, you know you're not going to slip up because you have that foundation that you have built.